Hey, it's Tristian Williams, and I'm so excited to be able to bring this training to you today. Now, oftentimes when we're going through a slump in life, we aren't excited as we used to be. There are exercises of gratitude that helps us remember what's going well in life. And while I train on that, and I think that has its place, it doesn't always do all of the trick. Now, I completely believe in being grateful for life and what's going well, but you at some point have to create a strategy for not just being grateful and content for where you are in life, but also creating a strategy to getting where you want to be. So the exercise that I'm going to share with you today is a great tool to help you do that, and it's absolutely complementary to being grateful while you're on your way to climbing back to your ideal place. So the first area that we're going to look at is the mental. And what I mean by mental is when you think about how you are being challenged in life, on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you rate yourself? Now, you think about the books that you're reading. Think about the challenges that you opt into, not just the challenges that are coming your way, but what are the challenges you're seeking? Are you learning by listening to a great podcast series or diving into some YouTube training? Mentally, are you as sharp as you've always been? Are you remembering things? Is your vocabulary as sharp as it always has been? Think about just mentally, how is your mind? And what this exercise is just the wheel of the 8 spheres of life. And for each category, what we're going to do is from a scale of 1 to 10, just make a little mark of where you are. And at the end, I'm going to show us what we can do with that. So the second category after the mental is the spiritual. And I'll tell you one thing about this exercise is that it's looking at life from a 30,000 foot holistic space. A lot of times it's easy to dive into one area of life. I want to learn so much more. I want to get competent in this skill. And we spend so much time and energy trying to get better at this one thing. And then other areas of life begin to taper off. And we have less satisfaction in those other areas. So this exercise is going to help us be aware of what those areas are and create a strategy for maintaining balance, especially as we're growing in a particular area that we may not be satisfied with. So the second area is the spiritual. Ask yourself, how spiritually connected are you? Are you solid in what you believe in? Are you growing in those beliefs? Are you applying those beliefs to your life on a daily basis? Do you feel close to your creator? Or if you aren't sure about what you believe, are you spending the time on a day-by-day basis to figure out what you believe and have peace in that? So the third area is the emotional. And one thing I'll say about the emotional is don't get caught up in the stereotypes of women are overly emotional or men aren't emotional at all. Men and women both have masculine and feminine energy. And you have to know who you are and be able to authentically walk in the type of energy you have. And you think about your emotional health and your emotional strength, ask yourself, am I more pessimistic these days or am I more optimistic? Do I have hope? Where is my self-esteem? Do I look in the mirror and think I'm beautiful? Despite the physical blemishes that I may have or the imperfections, am I still happy with who I am? And be aware of how that affects you emotionally. Very, very important. So the next area is the relational category. So relationships are extremely important. And as we grow in a society, in a world where it's very easy to work alone, to work remotely, take my day off and just do my office work at the house, or we find our ways to get our fixes and our thrills without people, we become relationally disconnected. Or maybe you're trying to achieve a goal and you don't have time to hang out anymore. You don't have time to connect with your significant other like you used to, or the people that you care about. You feel a little bit distant. So just be aware of how pursuing goals affects your relationships. And after the relational, this is pretty easy, is the financial. How are you doing with your finances? Are you making enough to be able to provide for all of your needs? Are you doing well with what you're making? Are you storing it wisely? Are you taking a portion of that to make sure that it's growing? Do you find yourself, struggling at the end of the month or the beginning of the month? Are you dreading when the direct deposit is snatched from your account to pay the phone bill or the mortgage or the rent or whatever it is? Just being aware of how you're doing financially greatly affects every other area that you're dealing with. And if you aren't where you want to be, that's okay. This exercise is just so we can be aware of where we are and create a strategy to move forward. So after, and I hope you can see it, after the financial, it's the career. And I will say that the career and the financial are related, but they aren't the same thing. You can be doing amazingly well in your career, and it may not be compensating you the way that you want it to. Or you can have a lump sum of savings, or you can be investing well or doing well financially, and you may not be happy with your career. So career is not just the job. It's how you create value in the world for other people. It's your mechanism for contributing to the world, which is very, very important. And after that, there is the lifestyle. And if you feel like you're struggling in the financial area, you may not feel permission or worthy to have the lifestyle that you want. And that may be wise, but it doesn't mean that you can't have some fun. It doesn't mean that you still shouldn't be enjoying life. So no matter where you are on the spectrum in your career or your finances or any of these other spaces, you deserve to have a lifestyle that allows you to look forward to life. So whatever you have at the end of the month, even if it's nothing, lifestyle can be taking a nap every Sunday. Lifestyle could be making sure you have your favorite ice cream every Friday night. Just doing things that you enjoy that help you to decompress and just hashtag treat yourself, And then the last one is the physical. There we go. So the physical is very straightforward. How do you feel about the way you look? And how do you feel in general? Do you have energy and vitality? Are you able to get up and give life all that you have? When you look in the mirror, can you say, I'm satisfied with the picture and the frame and the form that I have? It's all about our physical health and well-being. And it affects these other areas of life. If you don't feel strong physically, then that may drain you mentally. Or if your relationships aren't intact, you may not have the core group to pour back into you spiritually like you're used to having. So at the end of it, you write down all these categories, and you may be a 10 in one area, 7 or 8 in another area. You may be really broke right now, so you may need to go up on that category or whatever it is. And then what you do is you connect each category in a way that it's easily seen. And afterward, you take a step back, and the goal is to be able to have the fullest circle that you possibly